Welcome back, everybody, to the Deep Dive. This time, we're taking a deep dive into the world of tokenization in 2025.
Oh, yeah.
Tokenization!
We've got articles talking about trends and initiatives, and we're going to figure out why everyone's talking about turning, well, everything into digital tokens. From stocks to gold mines, the whole thing.
It's amazing. It seems like we're moving beyond just, like, theory now, you know? We're seeing real stuff happening. So in this deep dive, we're going to look at, what does tokenization even mean for you, for me, for everybody?
Right.
And what's driving this big wave of innovation? And how are institutions like central banks and stuff, how are they getting involved already?
Okay, so before we get too far into it, can we just like take a step back?
Yeah.
Just like define tokenization.
Okay, so imagine you want to own like a piece of a Picasso, right?
Okay.
Normally that'd be like
expensive.
So much money, storage, security, insurance, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
But with tokenization, you can own a digital token.
Okay.
It's like a little piece of that Picasso.
Yeah.
Think of it like a digital deed or something, stored securely on the blockchain that just proves you own that piece.
So instead of needing like an art vault, you've got a digital vault.
Exactly.
Secured by the blockchain.
Exactly. And it's not just art. It's like stocks, commodities, real estate, you name it.
Our sources talk about tokenized stocks.
Yes.
And how they're gaining a lot of momentum.
They are.
Why is that?
Well, there are two big things. Accessibility and liquidity.
Okay.
So imagine you want to invest in some big company, right?
Yeah.
But one share is like way too expensive.
Yeah.
Tokenized stocks break those walls down. You can own just a tiny piece.
Okay.
So it opens up investing to like
more people.
Way more people.
Yeah.
And more investors means more liquidity.
Right.
So it's easier to buy and sell those tokenized assets.
Okay. Makes sense. And, it makes the markets, less jumpy.
Okay. And it's not just stocks either. Our sources mentioned tokenized real estate.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big deal, right?
Huge. Yeah. Real estate is usually such a pain to buy and sell.
Right.
Takes forever. Tokenization makes it so you can own like a tiny piece of a building.
Okay.
Or a whole portfolio even.
Yeah.
With way less money.
That's pretty cool.
It is. You could have a global real estate portfolio.
Wow.
With a few clicks.
That is wild.
And it's not just for investors, right?
Okay.
It's for buyers, sellers.
Yeah.
Less paperwork, faster transfer of ownership. It makes everything easier.
There's a lot of excitement around tokenization.
Definitely.
And our sources mentioned this big event, Tokenize This 2025.
Oh, yes.
Happening in April 2025 in New York.
New York City.
What makes it so important?
Well, it's run by Security Token Market. They're like a big deal in tokenization.
Right.
And it's going to be the place to be if you want to understand how blockchain is changing finance.
So mark your calendars, everybody.
Absolutely.
April 2025, New York City.
That's it.
Tokenize This 2025.
Can't miss it.
And it's not just these, like, industry folks who are paying attention.
No, not at all.
Big financial institutions are getting involved, too.
Big time.
Like BBVA, this Spanish bank.
Right.
They're partnering with Visa to issue bank tokens on Ethereum in 2025.
That is huge.
It's like traditional finance is finally seeing what blockchain can do.
Absolutely. BBVA is not messing around.
What does it mean when a bank like BBVA gets involved like this?
It could mean like traditional banking and blockchain working together.
Okay.
Imagine faster, more secure transactions, international transfers in seconds, access your money from anywhere.
That would be amazing. Right. International transfers are such a pain.
The worst. And BBVA doing this could mean more institutions will follow.
And speaking of wider adoption, the Reserve Bank of Australia.
They're on under.
They've got this Project Acacia.
Yes, Project Acacia.
Fill us in.
It's all about a wholesale central bank digital currency, or CBDC.
Okay.
Focused on tokenized assets.
So Australia is basically experimenting with a digital version of their money.
Right.
Designed to work with tokenized assets.
Exactly. And they're not alone.
Okay.
There's a global surge in interest in CBDCs.
Wow.
Central banks all over are looking at how to improve financial systems, streamline payments, fight crime.
So Australia is looking at CBDCs for these big transactions.
Yeah, wholesale.
But the European Central Bank, they're gearing up for their own digital euro trials in early 2025.
They are.
But they're focused on retail payments.
That's right.
What are they trying to do?
They want to see how a digital euro would work with cash and other payments.
Okay.
They're really interested in something called conditional payments.
Conditional payments?
Yeah. Imagine you could set up a payment that only goes through when certain conditions are met.
Okay, I'm listening.
Say you're buying a used car.
Yeah.
You could set up a payment that's only released to the seller once the car passes inspection.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
It would make things so much safer.
Exactly. Or think about supply chains.
Okay.
A supplier gets paid automatically once their goods are delivered and checked.
So we're seeing how tokenization goes beyond just investments.
It does.
It's changing how we use money every day.
It's a really exciting development. It could change how we think about money and value.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
It is.
But we're going to dive even deeper into this after a quick break.
Sounds good.
Stay with us. So it seems like we're right on the edge of this financial revelation.
Yeah.
With tokenization, changing everything. But like with any big change, we got to think about what it all means, the good and the bad.
Right.
What are some of the big things we should be thinking about as tokenization gets bigger?
Well, one of the most exciting things is, financial inclusion.
Yeah.
Tokenization could make it so much easier for people, especially in places without good financial services, to access, financial services. Imagine anyone with a phone being able to invest globally or join crowdfunding projects.
That's a powerful idea. It could really change things for people.
It could. But, of course, there are also questions about security and regulation.
Right, of course.
How do we protect people from scams and fraud in this new decentralized, tokenized world?
Yeah.
And how do governments keep up with it all?
Right.
How do they encourage innovation while keeping people safe?
It's a tough balance. We've seen what can happen in the crypto world.
Exactly.
With all the hacks and scams and,
Volatility.
Yeah, volatility.
It can be risky.
People losing a lot of money.
And now it's not just about crypto, right?
Yeah.
It's real estate, art.
Right.
Stakes are much higher.
So we need rules, regulations.
We do.
To make sure things are stable and trustworthy.
Absolutely. It's a tricky balance,
Yeah.
Encouraging new ideas, but protecting people at the same time.
And it's not just governments, right?
No.
We have to be smart, too.
Individuals need to be informed. Do your research, understand the risks, and don't invest more than you can afford to lose.
That's good advice for any investment, really.
It is.
But speaking of navigating this new world, you mentioned conditional payments.
Oh, yes, with the digital euro trials.
Yeah. Can you tell us more about how that could change things?
Conditional payments could completely change how we handle our money and interact with businesses.
Okay.
Imagine automatic payments that only happen when certain things happen.
Okay.
Like a freelancer getting paid once a project milestone is finished.
Right.
Or a subscription service that adjusts your bill based on how much you use it.
So it's like a smart contract for your everyday life.
Exactly. Bringing the efficiency of blockchain to everything we do.
And I bet there are more applications beyond just personal finance.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine supply chains where each step triggers a payment automatically.
No more delays, no more disputes.
Exactly. But with all this talk about blockchain and digital currencies, it's easy to get lost in the tech stuff.
Right.
It's important to remember technology is just a tool.
A means to an end.
Exactly. What really matters is how we use it to solve problems, create opportunities, and build a fairer financial system.
So, what does this mean for the average person listening?
Well, the first step is awareness.
Okay.
Stay informed about what's happening in tokenization, read articles, listen to podcasts like this one, follow experts.
Knowledge is power, as they say.
It is. And don't be afraid to ask questions. The more you understand, the better you can spot opportunities and avoid problems.
It's an exciting time. We're seeing a whole new financial system being born.
It is. But before we get too carried away, we need to talk about the challenges and risks that come with tokenization.
Right. That's where we'll pick things up next. Stay tuned. We're back, diving deeper into this world of tokenization. We've talked about the potential, the huge changes it could bring, how it could completely change the financial world. But, like we said before, with any big change, there are downsides too.
Of course. It's crucial to, keep in mind the potential problems, the challenges.
So let's get into that. What are some of the warning signs we should be looking out for as tokenization takes off?
Well, security is always going to be a big one. Blockchain's pretty secure by itself.
Yeah.
But no system's perfect, right?
Yeah.
As more and more stuff gets turned into tokens, those tokens become targets for hackers.
Yeah, valuable targets.
Exactly. And a security breach could be devastating.
We're not just talking about stolen crypto anymore.
Nope.
It's people's homes, their savings, their identities.
Everything. The stakes are incredibly high.
Exactly. And that brings us to the next challenge, regulation.
Yeah.
It's still early days.
It is.
The rules around tokenized assets are still being figured out.
Right.
And it's not clear how different countries are going to approach it.
Ew, a bit of a Wild West out there.
And that lack of clarity, it can lead to, people taking advantage of the system.
Definitely. And it can slow down innovation, too, as businesses try to navigate all these different rules.
So it's a tough situation. We talked to central banks exploring CBDCs.
Right. Central bank digital currencies.
As a way to bring some stability and regulation to this tokenized world. Could that be the answer?
It could be part of it, yeah. CBDCs could offer a more solid framework for tokenized transactions.
Okay.
But there are concerns, too,
Yeah.
about privacy, about control.
Right, because if a central bank issues the digital currency, they potentially see everything happening with it.
Exactly. And that's a big deal for people who value their privacy.
Yeah, it's a tough trade-off, isn't it?
It is. Security versus privacy. Policymakers are going to have to figure that out.
Right. And then there's the question of, who has access to all this? Who benefits?
Right. The digital divide.
Tokenization is supposed to make things more inclusive.
Yeah, that's the idea.
But what if it just creates a new divide?
Exactly. The tokenized versus the untokenized.
Right. What if you need certain technology or financial knowledge, or you're held back by regulations?
It's possible.
And you can't access these tokenized markets.
Then it just makes existing inequalities worse.
Yeah, that's not what we want.
No. We need to make sure everyone benefits from tokenization, that everyone has a chance to participate.
It seems like we're at a turning point. Tokenization has so much potential.
It does.
But it comes with these challenges, too. How do we make sure this technology is used responsibly, ethically,
right,
to create a fair financial system?
That's the big question, and it needs everyone to work together, policymakers, regulators, industry leaders, and just regular people.
We all have a part to play.
Yeah.
And like we always say here, stay curious, stay informed, stay engaged.
Absolutely. The future of finance is being built right now, and we're all part of it.
That's a good way to put it. Tokenization has the power to revolutionize everything about money, how we invest, how we manage our assets.
It's a huge opportunity, but we need to approach it carefully, make sure it benefits everyone.
Well said. We hope this deep dive has given everyone a good understanding of this,
it's complex.
Yeah, complex technology. We've talked about the good, the bad, the questions we need to be asking as tokenization changes the world.
Definitely.
Let's keep exploring, keep learning.
Keep asking questions.
And we'll see on the next deep dive.
Thanks for listening.